Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here tonight. My name is Kelley Shaw, and I am the creator and moderator of Ladies Dream Golf. For those of you who don't know, Ladies Dream Golf is a fantasy golf game and also a fan community of ladies golf. And we just finished our second season, and we'll be entering into our third season soon. So we've been doing this for a couple years, and I have to say probably the most exciting part of this whole thing for me is the amazing friends that I've met just through Ladies Dream Golf. And I have 3 of those friends with me here tonight, and I'm so excited to have all of us together. I'm going to introduce each of these 3 ladies just really quickly, and then I'm going to give each of them a chance to say a few words about themselves. First, I have Alexandra Casi, who is a pro golfer on the Symetra Tour right now. I also have Annette Walker, who is joining us from down under, from Australia. It's early in the morning where she is. And then, of course, Bethel, who is a prolific blogger, sports writer. I'm very honored to have her here. So Alex, do you want to start and just say a couple words about yourself, and then you can pass it on to Annette after you've said what you're going to say.
Sure. I've been playing professional golf for about 4 years. I'm from Ohio, and I just finished up final stage of LPGA school. Unfortunately, I didn't receive any LPGA status, so I'll be playing another season on the 2015 Symetra Tour. And Kelley Shaw with Ladies Dreams Golf has been wonderful to me, and has helped me on and off through the last couple of years. And I'm also the resident pro on her site, and I'm going to be glad to be a part of next year again.
Okay, Annette, take it away.
Hi guys, my name's Annette Walker. I'm from Perth, WA. I was actually born in Dundee in Scotland, just about 30 minutes drive from the home of golf at St Andrews. I didn't take up golf until maybe 20 years ago. I don't want to give my age away here, but yeah, I was a late starter. I've travelled quite extensively. We don't have professional events in Western Australia, so I travelled to the other side of Australia to watch the women's golf, which I love. I'm already booked for my next event. I've been to the British Open a couple of times, which is a fantastic experience. I have to say I'm so honoured and delighted to be here your evening, my morning. The faith and the friendship that my good friends now, Beth, Bethel, and Kelley have given me just such warm support. I'm truly thankful to both of you, and it's lovely. I'm very honoured to be in Alex's presence. So it's over to you, Beth. Thank you.
Thanks, Annette. Hi, Alex. Hi, Kelley. Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Bethel. I write a blog, Staying in the Short Grass. I'm a staff writer for Pro Golf now, and I think I'm a ghost writer for Kelley sometimes. And I play golf. I love to play golf. I'm old. I've retired from my second career, and in that process, I realized that I laid down my golf clubs in my 30s. I had played as a young person, as a young woman. Laid down my golf clubs in my 30s to become a sociologist and a scholar and a writer. And as time rolled by, I realized how much I missed golf. And so I picked the clubs up again, and that's opened up an entire new world for me. Blogging, talking to Kelley, being a fan. I'd never imagined myself to be a pro golf fan, but in fact I'm a huge fan. So I'm just delighted to be here with all of you and talk about next year.
All right, thanks everyone. So just a quick little agenda for those of you who are watching. We're gonna kind of do a 2014 in review, both in terms of pro golf and fantasy golf. And We're going to have a couple of prize drawings, and then we're going to look forward to the 2015 season. And one thing I want to mention, for those of you who are watching, if you want to put any questions or comments into the comment area, either on Google+, if you're watching from Google+, or from YouTube, if you put those questions and comments in, if we have some time, we'll bring those questions up. And so if you have questions for any of the four of us, please feel free, or if you just have any comments. So let's start off talking about the 2014 season. I have lots of things I want to say about Ladies Dream Golf in 2014, but I think I'm going to let you guys talk first, and let's talk a little bit of pro golf. I'm really interested in getting your perspective on the 2014 season, and feel free to talk about whichever tour interests you, the LPGA, the LET. And Alex, I'd really like to get some comments from you on your Symetra season last year. I don't know. Let's start with Beth, since she went last time, and just give us some perspective. What was your favorite moment or your favorite event, and what was your overall impression of the 2014 season?
Well, let's start with the overall impression, because I just thought it was a fabulous season. There was no favorite moment, but there were many, many exhilarating moments, and they transcended tours. I was thrilled when Minjee Lee won, and she won on the Victorian Oaks, which is an LPG event. It wasn't an LET or an LPGA event, and yet she just captured me at that moment, and I became a huge fan. I loved Paula Creamer's 75-foot putt. I loved it. I have it bookmarked on YouTube, and I periodically go back and just watch that thing. And what an extraordinary moment that was.
Absolutely. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, don't you wish you could do that? But her reaction to it was what was so spectacular for me, because I identified with that feeling, not with the shot, because I'm not that good of a golfer, but I've made shots that left me breathless on the side of the green, just banging the grass, just like that. So, that was a really great moment for me. I really enjoyed, in a way that it's hard to explain, but I enjoyed the Symetra Tour. Opened a new event this year in Greenwood, South Carolina, my hometown. And I have a long affiliation with the women's health charities that benefited from that event, and I volunteered to work that event. And I looked up, and here came Alex down the fairway, and she walked by, and she said, "Hi, Beth." And it was just this really deep moment where the world of golf forms these magical friendships as we pass each other. There was no opportunity or reason to have any more conversation. Alex was working, and so was I, but we could wave, and that was a really special moment, not just during that event, but in terms of my year and how I grew. I've loved nurturing Annette. That's been a big thing for me this year.
I'd like to hear more about that, actually. So Annette, would you like to jump in and talk about kind of your 2014 in terms of being a fan of ladies golf?
Yes, I will. I just wanted to quickly, I didn't want to interrupt while Beth was talking, but for me as well, the Paula Creamer 75-foot putt was outstanding. It still gives you goosebumps. Mm-hmm. But moments before, as she was lining that putt up, don't forget, Azahara Munoz was standing there with maybe I can't recall, but a 5-foot birdie putt. And this was going to be Az's first win, as far as I remember. And we thought it was in the bag. And I was also ready to celebrate Az's win. She's a fantastic player. And lo and behold, Paula just drilled it. It was just sensational. So thanks for bringing that one up, Beth. I wanted to speak about, and not that the or the CEO of ALPG will be listening, but formally that's my passion to really support the ALPG as far as I can. So Karen Lunn is doing a fantastic job in that seat. She's been in the seat now for a couple of years. Two of my highlights, of course, would be Carrie Webb, the incomparable Carrie Webb, taking 2 wins this year. As she stood on the 18th also at Evian, 1 stroke in hand, it was just sensational. It was magical. We all know what happened at Evian, and Webby went on to you know, miss a putt. She bogeyed, and that's golf. But for me, still, I think it's the first time I've been able to talk about it. I don't know how Carrie felt, but it was devastating, and I think a lot of Australian people were floored.
I know you told me, Annette, that you were crying after that. You were crying when she missed that.
I was, because it's just the nerves and the anxiety. We're very passionate, and we like one of our own to really get up there and show the world like Carrie has. What actually happened on Twitter, I was sort of trying to tweet what was going on. A couple of professional players from Australia, I don't want to name names, they were in their airports because maybe they were leaving because they'd finished their event. What happened then was they were tweeting me saying, Annette, please tell us what's happening. We don't know what's going on. So sadly, I had to say, Webby's missed out this time, guys, but she'll bounce back. The other ones on the ALPG, well, for Australian golf, I'm just trying to read what the event's called. It was when the young amateurs won the Women's World Amateur Team. So the Australians, which included Minjee Lee before she turned professional, that was fantastic. Sadly, they beat Canada. You know, that happens. But they came from behind and they nailed it. So for me, I'm looking at the future of golf, and these young girls were solid. They stood tall and they got right into it and capped it off. Minjee turned pro after that, so she'll be there. Trust me, she will be there. Her name will be on the leaderboard in and around. The other thing, as an Australian, because people from the United States probably don't comprehend it as much, and people in Europe, because there's a Solheim Cup, of course. In Australia, we can't participate in the Solheim Cup. The International Crown gave us that platform, and I read articles. I didn't see it, but in the International Crown, when Carrie Webb was singing the national anthem, it's the first time she has had that honour and privilege to do so. So again, I didn't see the footage, but it gave me goosebumps. So that's enough from me about the ALPG that I wanted to talk about.
Thanks so much, Annette. Those are some really, really great memories. So Alex, you know, I think you're going to have a little bit different perspective. You can talk about the LPGA and the LET and the ALPG if you want, but I would really love to hear about your season on the Symetra Tour and what your highlights were and kind of your takeaway from the season.
Sure. I mean, real quick about the LPGA, I think this year we finally saw, you know, the Michelle Wee and Thompson, you know, get their wins, and I think that was great for the LPGA. It's kind of what they've been pushing for a while. They had, that's quite okay. My dog just ran to my door. You know, the schedule was a lot better. I think they had a few more domestic tournaments. And then, you know, as far as the Symetra Tour, you know, we had more events last year. The Symetra Tour, I think, as I've said before, they've done a wonderful job getting us better venues and bigger purses, which the purse that we had when I saw Beth in Greenwood, that's our biggest purse in the history of the Symetra Tour. It was a $200,000 purse, and you know, the course was fantastic, and Beth was actually working on, I think, probably one of the hardest holes on the course.
I picked that hole because I needed to learn how to play it.
Yeah, it's sort of, you couldn't hit driver off the tee. There was a quick left side to it, and then the green was elevated. Yep. It was really firm, so you had to really watch your club going in. But my season was probably the most consistent. I made the most cuts I've made since I've been out there, but I just really wasn't finishing high enough to really boost my money. I didn't really kind of pick it up till the end of the season. I had a career low 66 in the first round of the last event. That was super fun to finally, put together what I'm capable of doing. And then I kind of took that momentum and I went to second stage and made it to finals and didn't go how I had planned, but I actually feel more encouraged than I ever have after this year. Consistency's up, and I'm super excited for next year. I've kind of had kind of a sneak peek at our schedule next year, and they've been releasing some of our tournaments, and we've got some new ones, and we're going back to Greenwood again, which I absolutely, like I said, I love that course, and with the purse being, a little bit larger, it gives you that extra incentive to do well there. So, hopefully I can get to all my tournaments, but I'm really, really excited to get into next year.
Great. So now I'm excited to share. Now this is nothing about pro golf, but this is a little bit about of our hangouts about fantasy golf. And so I wanted to share some of my favorite moments from 2014. One happened at the beginning of the season. I think it was January 20th or something like that. Brittany Lincecum retweeted one of my tweets, trying to get people interested in playing the game. And it was just amazing what happened. Right after she retweeted, I got like 30 new users,
wow,
within 2 days. And it kind of set us up for a really nice sized community for the year. And we definitely grew from last year, from the first year. The first year, I think we started with 25 fantasy golfers when I first started my site. And by the end of that season, we had about 80. And we started 2014 after Brittany Lincecum's retweet. We started with like 120 users. And we've grown to about 170 that play regularly. So I've just been really excited about the growth of the community and really the quality of the community. People who are fantasy golfers on Ladies Dream Golf are true fans of the game. And like I said before, I've made such great friends. And probably the thing that I'm the most proud of Ladies Dream Golf, and it wasn't really my initial intent, but it's kind of grown into really supporting golfers. And when I say golfers right now, I'm talking about Alex. There's a lot of players trying to get to the LPGA. For every player on the LPGA, there's probably 100 players that have amazing talent that are trying to get to the LPGA. And so as a community this past year, we raised almost $2,000 for Alex just through donations. And so I'm really proud of that. I'm just proud of the quality of the members of Ladies Dream Golf, and I just love our community. And let's see, I think that's what I wanted to say about, the other favorite moment this year was I actually finally won a tournament. I won one fantasy tournament this season. So, I started this whole thing thinking I'd be really good at it. That's the whole reason I started this game, is because I didn't want to play men's fantasy golf because I wasn't good at it. And so I had this, fantasy that if I started a fantasy golf game for women that I would do really well, but not so much. But it's a lot of fun. So, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but all three of these ladies that are joining me also play Ladies Dream Golf. And with mixed results, I think. How did you guys do this year?
Oh, I did very badly. Very, very badly. Embarrassingly badly.
Started off really well, but I dropped way down after a while. I think I was leading, wasn't I, at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, at one point you were in the lead.
I picked a lot with my heart. My head told me one thing, but I picked a lot with my heart.
Well, it's all about supporting. It's all about supporting our favorite players, right?
Yes.
So what I now, your dogs are really wanting to see you, Annette.
One moment, I'll sort them.
So what I'd like to do now, before we start looking forward to the 2015 season, is we're going to do a couple of prize drawings. the way it worked this year is I had 4 prize packages to give away for the season. The first 2 prize packages went to the outright season winners, one for the LPGA and one for the LET, and I'll just mention those winners. Waldorf was the winner on the LPGA, and that's one of our players from London, I believe, from England. And then on the LET side, the outright winner for the season was Pretty Putter. So both of them have already won a prize package. And then there's 2 more prize packages that we want to give away. And the way that works is each winner of the tournaments are being put into this drawing for a prize. And then on the LET side, each segment winner is also in the drawing. Now, what I want to do real quick, Alex, before we do the drawing, is I want to show, if this works, I want to show who all the winners were. We'll do the LPGA first. So, can everyone see that list?
Oh, that's great.
So those are all the winners from each of the LPGA tournaments. We had 32 tournaments this year, and the little colored boxes are indicating those who won more than one tournament during the year. So you can see Putt for Doe won a couple of tournaments. DA Nutty won a couple of tournaments. So those are all the names that you see there under the winners columns, and then down along the bottom are the names that are in the hat. And so Alex has agreed to help me out here, and she has all those names in a hat. And so let's go ahead and draw before I do that, I want to show one quick thing. Can you guys see this? This is a Ladies Dream Golf cap with Alex's autograph on there. And let me just quickly name what else is in the prize package. There's a cap, and you get to choose your color. There's 4 different colors. A Ladies Dream Golf towel. A card game called Golf, which was actually invented by a guy here in Albuquerque who donated a few of those to me. An Utterly Smooth hand cream that Alex got from one of her sponsors. A Srixon ball signed by Alex, and a re-tee. I don't know if you guys have heard of re-tee, but it's a little tee that has a pencil sharpener built in, and you can use it to sharpen your pencil, or you can use it to sharpen your tee so that your tee lasts a little bit longer. So all those items are in the prize package. So let's go ahead and draw Alex for the winner of the LPGA prize package.
All right, we've got our Srixon, I don't know if you can see it, Srixon hat here. We've got about all the names in there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. And it's going to be D.A. Nutty 1.
D.A. Nutty 1. All right. I actually recognize that name because that's a player that's been with Ladies Dream Golf from the very beginning. So that's
fantastic.
So that's great. Okay, so now let me show you the names of the LET winners. And oops, give me just 1 second. You guys would not believe how many buttons I have to push to do all this stuff.
I believe it.
Can you guys see the LET winners?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So notice this is a lot shorter list. What I did this year is I did just a few LET tournaments, and those were tournaments that were conducted on the weeks that the LPGA had off. So there was only 12 tournaments, and so the odds are a lot better for this list of people. So let me go ahead and take that down, and let's switch over to Alex and go ahead and draw the name for the LET winner.
We have our Utterly Smooth hat now to draw from. And let's see here. It's going to be Miss Talani.
Ms. Talani or Ms. Talani. Excellent. So if either one of you are watching, congratulations. And so all the 4 winners I'll be contacting soon to get shipping information, and we'll get those prize packages out. Now, before I go on, I want to, there's a couple of comments that have come up, and so let me bring this up. And Alex, this one is for you.
Okay.
And let's see if I can you see that?
Yeah, I see that.
So a question from Colette. So just spend, you can answer that real quickly, and we'll actually spend some more time on that a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm a little frustrated at the moment with, finding the solid sponsor, because this past year was conglomeration of people. It started out with a gentleman that I had, met when I went to University of Maryland way back in 2002, and then he did what he could, and then basically for most of the year, it was Kelley, and my mom and dad did what they could. I had a golf course help me for a few events in the middle of the summer, but I've got nothing solid. And I had a post that said, start in your hometown. Everyone, enjoys a hometown hero, but I don't know. Everybody seems to forget about golf when it's cold out, and I feel like I've kind of exhausted everybody in my area. So no, it's not going real well, and it's frustrating when the semester schedule's coming out, and I'm very excited to get back out there and play, because like I said, I think if you read my last blog, I really feel like my last 4 years were like my college golf experience, because I didn't have a college golf experience. I ran track in high school, and I ran track in college, and then I picked up the golf, and so I feel like now I feel so much more mature, actually, just after the week at Q School, and I really feel like I'm ready to get out there and let that show. So hopefully something pops up. It'd be nice just to be able to go back after Christmas and get started, because I know my boyfriend plays a little bit, and there's some tournaments he could play in January, and he never misses a check, and I know he could get us a little bit in the bank account. So it'd be nice just to be able to know that I'm headed back south out of this cool weather to start working. So yeah, maybe somebody.
So if there's any potential sponsors out there that are interested, and I can tell you from experience that Alexandra is very energetic, and she really does a great job promoting her sponsors. So
I don't know if you guys caught Beth Baldry's article that she just did on the expenses of the LPGA tour. Did you guys?
I read it.
Yeah, and it's it kind of it's actually worse on our tour. You read that and you look how much Stacey Lewis is winning, and what she has to pay for her team and her caddy, and the Symetra tour, we don't have the opportunity to make what she does, and it's just a realistic look at how hard it is, and I'm not going to give up until I make it. I mean, I've got so much invested. I absolutely love golf. I love everything about it. If the passion wasn't there, I'd say okay, I tried, but it's definitely there, and I want to go all the way, and I want to be a name on the LPGA. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm persistent, so I'm not going away.
Well, I can tell you from the Ladies Dream Golf perspective, we'll keep on supporting you as long as you want it. We'll keep on giving you all the moral support that we possibly can, and I'm going to talk about a couple other things here in a minute. But before we move on, I want to bring on Christina Panama, who is one of our fantasy golfers, who is lovely. I would love to meet her one of these days. She has a comment here. Can everyone read that?
Yes.
Okay, so let me lock that in. So I'm going to read it out loud so people can hear it. Great to see all four of you live. One of my favorite 2014 moments were the wins from Anna Norquist at the Honda LPGA Thailand and Christina Kim, at the LOI. The first one because I remember she struggled for several years, and the idea, and I'm going to have to go read over here because it cut it off. And the idea stop playing golf never crossed her mind. And the second one, well, we all know what problems Christina went through for several years. I saw that win in person and almost cried with her. So thank you, Christina, for your comment. So amazingly, we have already taken 30 minutes. So I want to make sure that we get to some of the thoughts about the upcoming season, and I want to give a kind of a quick preview of a new game that I'm going to be featuring in 2015. So I'll just give each of you a chance to kind of wrap up your thoughts. Where do you see 2015 going? Do you have any predictions on who's going to be the standout or who's going to be dominant on the tour? and or whatever you'd like to say about the 2015 season. How about we start with Annette this time? Annette, are you
Thank
ready
you.
for us?
Yes, absolutely. Kelley and guys, I did forget to mention one of the highlights for this season, but I think this person will go on next season, hoping so anyway, when Leanne Pace had her first LPGA win at Blue Bay, and she came off an LET event at the South African Open. She had a little bit of injury, so she had to withdraw from a couple of events. But I think for me, I'll be watching her to be able to stand out. I'll be interested to see next year how Charlie Hull goes. I've had much debate and conversation with Beth in this regard. Just when we think that she's going to absolutely nail it, there's just something in her way where we can't figure it out. We don't know her, but she's just such raw talent. She is absolutely one of the future faces of golf. Of course, I'll be watching Minjee Lee. I will be watching all of the Australians. I also have fallen in love with a lot of the people on the LET tour. There's a lot of French names that you would know, obviously, like Nocera. I really would like to see Annelise Cordahl just smack that win and get her one in her pocket. But there's so much talent out there on the LET, the ALPG, that you guys don't get to see as much. One of my heartbreaks of the year as well is Alex may know this, Rebecca Artis, the Australian, who is a very hard worker. She missed out on LPGA this year. She tries and tries and tries. Yeah, she's a great girl. So I look forward to seeing her early in the season. I also just want to say, I'll call it now, okay? I probably will be going for the European team in the Solheim Cup.
Oh, that's a surprise.
I do have my American favourites, absolutely, but I'll probably get told off from a lot of people if I'm not supporting the Europeans. So I've declared it now, guys.
Okay, you're on record.
Thank you.
Okay, how about you, Beth?
Oh my gosh, we're talking now about the elephant in the living room. Is Lydia Ko going to mop the place up or not? Is Minjee Lee going to get it together and give Lydia Ko some competition? Is Charlie Hall going to get serious about golf and create the teenage triumvirate that'll run off the 20-somethings and send them gasping for breath on the sidelines and the fringe? I have nothing but questions. Will Paula Creamer come back from her honeymoon? It's right now, I feel like the 2015 season is just a soap opera in the making. And Brooke Holloway just turned pro. You guys know that?
Brooke Henderson.
Brooke Henderson, thank you very much. Just today. Which means there's a fourth knock your tail off teenager coming along. And, I was reading the same article that you were reading, Alex, about money, and then it was either in that article or another one that I was reading about age. And the changing demographic of women professional golfers, and some speculation about, is this becoming a young woman's game? Something that women do until their mid-20s and then actually go off and find a real job, because it doesn't appear, the econometrics of pro golf for women make it appear that women really can't establish any enduring financial self-sufficiency and security unless they're at the very, very, very top. And even Stacey Lewis, when I looked at those numbers for Stacey, I thought, and she ends up with $48,000 in her pocket?
What I was a little confused with that number, though, was it had like a figure of $85,000 for a team around her. And I'm thinking team as in, psychologist, trainer. But then everybody else's team was like $9,000. So I thought I don't know what that team is there, but I thought that number was super high. on
Well,
her.
yeah, I mean, but who knows what that means in the way of team. But I was looking at the far right-hand number,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
which I thought I can do better on Social Security than Stacey Lewis is doing, being the top money winner on the LPGA. I mean, that's what it boils down to, which doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't
The
make sense to
cost,
me either. You
if
guys will have to
say
send me
we
the link to that.
It's a
okay,
good thing I don't have to pay
but
for a caddy.
we've seen this cost issue play out with Alex. We've all been keenly aware of what it costs for Alex to be on the Symetra tour and stay active. There's a lot of out-of-pocket money, and that cost factor just keeps going up. Now, Lydia Ko can meet the cost, but if Minjee Lee doesn't get some good wins, she won't meet the cost. If Charlie Hall doesn't get serious and put some winnings in her bank account, she won't be able to meet the cost. And so raw talent has to get translated into something that's going to produce the amount of cash that it takes just to support the professional participation. It's the economics of it are mind-boggling to me, and I don't know that we need to get derailed on this, except it's your fault, Alex, because you mentioned the article to begin with.
It would be sort of depressing in a way for someone like myself to read, because I think another girl on the Symetra tour commented on it, and because I don't really feel that way about quitting. I mean, I guess I have my mom and dad's house that I can come back to. I'm 30 years old, but for a lot of people, I guess, they don't have a choice. They do have to move on. But yeah, it's on the Symetra tour, it's even worse. You have to finish basically in the top 3 to make your money back that week. And our entry fees are $500, where I think on the LPGA they're $150, and it just really adds up. People that aren't familiar with professional golf don't really know, what goes into it every week.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I'm really excited to talk about our new features, but Alex, I wanted to give you a chance if you wanted to say anything more about the upcoming season.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see how our top 10 off the Symetra tour do next year. We've got a few characters. Sedina Parks is one of them that was on Big Break. Just going to be nice to see some girls that I actually know how they fare. Like Beth said, I think Lydia Ko is probably going to continue that dominance. It just seems like she's got everything together and is super confident. I think like your Brittany Lincecum, I was kind of rooting for her a lot last year. She came so close. I know she's been frustrated with golf for a long time, so it was nice to see her get close. And that Christina Kim win was really nice for me to see. She hasn't won in 9 years, and I've said before when I got into Kingsmill, I said, she was hitting behind me, and I said, hey, I read your book and loved it, and she talked about my outfit, and she was very nice and told me to enjoy my week. So I've always liked her. So
That's a cool story.
yeah.
Okay, well, before we lose our audience, I really want to talk a little bit about our upcoming season, and I hope everyone who was part of this season will continue to be involved in Ladies Dream Golf. I really just love the whole community, and I hope to grow it, but I hope to grow it in such a way that we stay a really strong community. So I've come up with a new game for next year. Now, this is going to be in addition to the standard, I'll call it the standard game that we've all been playing. I'm now calling that game Pick 4. So Pick 4 is the game that we've been playing for the last 2 years, where for each tournament, you pick one player from each group, and then you earn points based on the amount of money that your player earns. So we're going to keep on doing that game. The new game is called Make the Cut. And Make the Cut is a season-long game, which means you actually have to sign up for it before the season starts. You won't be able to join in the middle of the season. And I've had lots of people ask me that, wouldn't it be fun if we had a game that there was actually, that you paid to play and there was a chance of a monetary prize. So we're going to do that with Make the Cut. And with Make the Cut, the way it's going to work, for each tournament, you pick one player who you think is going to make the cut. And if they make the cut, then you move on to the next week. If they don't make the cut, you're eliminated from the competition. Now, the one catch here is you can only pick each player once. So you can't pick Stacy Lewis every week. Sorry, that's just too easy. So the other part of it is, well, like I said, you can enter. It's $5 to enter, and each person can have up to 8 entries. Okay, so you can actually have, more than one horse in the race, so to speak. Now, the thing I want to mention is all the proceeds from the entry fees will go to Alex. So we are continuing to support Alex this year, and as long as she wants to play, we want her to play. And so you can look at the entry fee for playing Make the Cut as your donation to supporting women's golf. And plus you get to play a really fun game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So the registration for that is going to go live this weekend. So probably no later than Sunday, you will be able to sign up for Make the Cut. And like I said, you want to make sure you sign up before January 28th, because January 28th is the starting of the first tournament of the LPGA season. So I'm really excited, and I hope a lot of people play, and I hope a lot of people play with a lot of entries, because even at 8 entries, that's $40 for the whole season, and I think it's going to be a blast.
Kelley, are you going to set up something like PayPal?
Yes, it's tied to PayPal. It's going to be all automatic. So when you enter, it takes you to PayPal.
Okay.
Let's see. There was one other thing I want to say. Oh. So Colette asked a question. I'm going to bring that up right now because I need to answer this question. Kelley, will there be more LET next year? Unfortunately, I am not going to do LET next year. Let me explain why. It's too much work for me. I don't know if you guys know this, but I do Ladies Dream Golf all by myself. I don't have a staff. I don't have a helper. And I do have a full-time job. The LET makes it very difficult for me. I do a lot of screen scraping in order to get the results, and then I try to automate that as much as possible. But the way that the LET posts their results, I have to do so much manual massaging of the data. It takes me about an hour just to take the screen scrape and clean it up to the point where I can run it through my my program. Whereas the LPGA makes it really easy. I just scrape, I just copy, I paste it, and then I run it through my process, and it's pretty much automated. So sorry about that. I do apologize. I may bring it back later when I have more time, when I have more extra time. And Alex and I actually talked about I may do some Symetra Tour events. I may do a couple of Symetra Tour events. Some of the more prominent Symetra Tour events, we may throw that in. And there may be a game for the Solheim Cup. I tried that 2 years ago, and it worked out pretty well. So I may have a game for the Solheim Cup. So that's
Kelley, do you mind if I jump in just for a second and maybe help answer Colette's not direct question, but as you know, I write for Pro Golf Now, and so does Bethel. If any of the guys are out there, just follow us on Twitter. We will post throughout the year, you know, reviews on the LET. We'll post who wins because most certainly for me, I want to see these women's names out there as much as the LPGA. Again, with so many different countries within the European community, there is less and less money. So that's where we won't start talking money again, Beth. But it is difficult. But these women are absolutely fantastic. So I will endeavour, and as will Beth, Pro Golf Now.
Yes.
Please follow us and follow progolfnow.com, whatever the rest of it is. I'm not a techno head. Yeah, so just hopefully, Colette, that gives you a little bit of relief. And I know the work that Kelley does for Ladies Dream Golf is just immense. I don't know how she operates the rest of her life as well as doing Ladies Dream Golf.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Annette. I do appreciate that. It is a lot of work. I am not going to lie. But I love it. And like I said at the beginning, I love all the friends that I've met through this, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I couldn't do it without all of you, without not only the three of you, but everyone who's tuned in right now, and everyone who plays week after week. And you know, I get such great comments from people, and it's turned into something much bigger than I ever imagined, and I'm very appreciative of it. So thank you very much, all of you.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I think we're going to have to wrap it up. We ran a little bit late, but I think it was a wonderful conversation, and I appreciate the three of you joining, and I appreciate everyone who joined in and watched. And here's to 2015, and we'll see you all out there.
Absolutely.
Good night.
Thanks, Kelley.
Okay, good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Good morning.